Hey, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Single Chronicles. Yes, I know I've been away for an extended period of time and for very good reason, but I'm back and got some updates and a new tale and everything to talk to you guys about. So if you're new here, make sure you share, heart, save, like, whatever to this podcast so that you can be notified whenever I do another episode. For everyone else, welcome to the Single Chronicles. Hey.
Missing someone. Missing someone. Missing someone.
So, Single Chronicles. We're still in the midst of season 4. I never did a season finale. I never closed out the season. I just kind of didn't record anything for a while. And that was going back to April. I think April was the last episode that I released. And I just been busy. Hey, mamas. I just been like every time I come to the studio is to do a YouTube video, to do trailer reactions because I've been trying to grow that particular platform. Plus, I've been just focusing on growing classes, especially because summertime, stuff get as a trainer or anybody that's in the fitness industry, what happens is we get this drought. And the next thing you know, there's no hardly no students in your class. And it doesn't matter what you teach. I teach Zumba classes, I teach twerk classes. Anybody can relate to this. So I just kind of be like, all right, I'm gonna fall back. So I just been keeping myself, trying to keep classes to a good norm. But back to Single Chronicles. So anyway, life kind of got in the way, and then I would get in the studio and be like, all right, I'm gonna do a trailer reaction, then I'm gonna do the podcast episode, and then I would just not feel the topic that I was talking about or whatever. And now right now I'm on like YouTube, I'm on my not YouTube, I'm on Instagram live as I'm recording this as we speak. And I'm just like, I gotta do better. Oh man, I gotta do better with these, I'm thinking to myself, I just didn't say bye. I didn't give no salutations. I didn't do none of that. So anyway, I wanted to kind of just give you guys an update about that. Plus, the topic for today um is just peace of mind. And we got a lot of shit going on right now. The Supreme Court is laying down some new laws. Now, I don't get political on the Single Chronicles, but I do talk politics from time to time, or if they relate to the topic at hand. So we already got, thank you. We already have the one we had Roe v. Wade that happened already, but affirmative action and the student loan forgiveness thing, which obviously is only going to really affect certain demographics. But it is what it is. Shit like this happens. It happens. We get bad news from time to time, news that affects us personally or whatever, and we hate it. And we're like, damn, you know what I mean? What am I going to do now? And people ask me, my few friends, they'll be going through some stuff, and we all going through some shit. Like I had one friend that posted on her page, I wish I just mattered to someone. You do. You matter to me. You're my friend. And I know she wasn't talking in that way. I think she was talking more like, I want to matter to a man. I want someone to love me. And that seems to be the consensus. I guess it took me, I want to say, what's this, 2023? 5 years. 5 years of learning to love myself. And that meant being by myself. Don't get me wrong. I tried to date a couple times. I tried to put myself out there. That shit finally oh, you caught me. Hey, you caught me. Like, I tried. I said, all right, I'm going to do this. I'm ready. I wasn't ready. And I learned that I needed this time to be by myself. I needed it. It was necessary. People hate the fact that, the scariest thing, I don't want to die alone. You can die alone whether you married in a relationship or not. You whatever. That shit can happen. You can't control. It ain't like you're gonna die at the same time with your partner. But that being said, I had to spend the last 5 years by myself. Like it was a lot that happened in that time frame, and prior to that, like my mom had moved in, and then my daughter was graduating high school. Now she's about to graduate college. It was so much that was going on. I was like, I ain't got time to focus on a relationship. I ain't got time to focus on nobody. You know what I mean? And I was just like, all right, I'm trying to I'm gonna look for an apartment or a house. I started house hunting. Everything was going good. Then COVID happened. Then I was like, I really ain't worried about no relationship now. So it just happened. And then I just got used to the point where I didn't really want to fuck with nobody right then and there. And to some extent, I don't. So in that time that I did, I made one choice, and that was to learn how to love myself. And in order to do that, I had to figure out what was next. Find an inner peace. Find an inner peace, I would say, is the hardest fucking thing I've ever had to do. This shit is so hard. This shit is it's an ongoing process. It's like fitness. It's like when you get fit, you get in shape, you hit that size you want to hit or goal you want to hit, whatever the case might be, even if it's an education thing. Any goal you want to hit, guess what you got to do once you hit it? You got to maintain it. So let's just say you're trying to be a doctor or a lawyer. There's so many things that you got to do over the course of your career to keep your mind sharp. You got to stay up on the laws. You got to do certain things. Fitness is the same way. Like people, like even if you go get surgery and suck all the fat out, you got to maintain that size. So if I go and get liposuction, suck all this out, like suck it all out, not that I'm going to, I still have to maintain that aesthetic. And that's the same way with fitness. This is what I tell all my clients and students. I was like, make sure this is what you want to do because you're going to have to maintain it. Not talking about the surgery thing, just in general. So moving along, what I realized, how do I maintain peace in a when it's always a constant fucking cycle of chaos around me? People just angry. People just want to be mad. People want to be bitter. People want to be all these things that I ain't got time to deal with. Like I went through some hell. And I guess it was to prepare me because I had people talking about me and just saying the meanest shit about me. Like you would have thought I ran over somebody's dog and screwed their wife and the husband. Like, yo, like, damn, you would thought I was Saddam Hussein or the Hitler out here in this piece. Like, damn, I did all that? Really? None of it was fucking true. So then after that, that's when I was like, all right, I gotta learn how to block shit out. That was first and foremost because I used to react to shit, but then I had to learn to block it out. But then once I did that, I still wasn't happy. I found some peace. I was like, all right, let me dig up in here, find the peace. What makes me happy? What makes me tick? I thought it was doing all these things, keeping myself uber busy all the time. It wasn't that either. Excuse me, a little parched. Then I had to find out, all right, now what the fuck do I want? So once I started writing down a list of things that A, I wanted, B, I wanted to maintain, and where I wanted to be in peace of mind, and I could start working. You always got to lay out a plan, but that's not the point of this podcast. And I'm not going to run on because this is going to be a very short episode today. I learned that the peace, the inner peace, all of that was just, once I got there, I noticed that there were outside forces, I guess, that wanted access to it. I don't know. It's hard to explain. There would be, I remember someone DM me, we were talking, like I said earlier, about the matter thing, and she was saying, I don't matter to anyone, my family, my mother, my this, and not mattering, not having that validation and that love from your parents could fuck you up. Trust me, I know. I speak from personal experience. But eventually, you owe it to yourself to do one or two things. A, forgive yourself. B, forgive them. Once you learn to do those two things, then it starts to get a little easier to go down that path. And it's hard to forgive your parents for the fucked up shit they did to you. And the shit that they do don't even got to be physical. I used to think all abuse had to be physical abuse. Long as my parents or whoever ain't beating the fuck out of me, I ain't being abused. That's so far from the truth. But once I learned, looking back, that I was abused, you know, I had to become the adult that I needed. I had to become the nurturer that I needed for myself. Once I learned that shit, then I was like, all right, damn, this is hard. But looking back and realizing that's what I did that whole time, that I became my own nurturer, that I became my own protector and everything, even though I was a child, I got resentful towards my parents. Like, why the fuck y'all ain't do this shit? Like, this ain't my fucking job, And then eventually the hurt hit. I had to forgive them because It was a cycle that was perpetuated. You know how they say generational curses, generational trauma? This was a cycle that did not start with my parents. It was already embedded in them because it came before them. But I made a choice to stop the generational curse. And stopping generational curses isn't necessarily, about going back and fixing stuff. It's about stopping the shit right here, right then and there, so that the next generation, kids, grandkids, whatever, the those to come don't repeat what you do. Period. That's all it is. You're not responsible for, you know, trying to make folks unlearn some bullshit that they put on you. No, that ain't your job. Now, I can show you the way. I can lead by example. Um I can, give you some pointers. It's just like if I see someone that, doing a health thing and it's working for them. All right, I'm gonna try this out. And they can lead by example, but it's not their fucking job to hold me by the hand and say, all right, do it this way, that way, step by step. No, I mean, at some point, it's like, okay, thank you for the guidance, but eventually you got to take the training wheels off. You got to walk on your own 2 feet. And it's up to you to either take those cues, take those pointers, take those tips and that help and everything you learn, just like any other form of education and whatnot, and then do with it what you shall, and then bam. So that's what I decided to do. That's what I was like, all right, I got some tools, I got some therapy, I got some education, I got some books, I did webinars, I've been, damn it, been healing. Not just on the outside, but on the inside. And then once I started doing that, I'm eating better shit that don't exacerbate. I can always fuck up that word. That don't make worse, anxiety and depression. Things that don't trigger cortisol, but they trigger serotonin and oxytocin. Now we getting down to the nitty gritty of it. So I started doing that, and then bam. And this is nothing that y'all haven't heard before. So once I did that, once I learned to heal, move on, forgive. All right, now I can do the first step of my happiness, finding and maintaining my peace. So finding and maintaining your peace is made out of three basic things: living, loving, laughing. So live, love, laugh. Bam. That's it. That's all I had to do. Live, love, laugh. So I did that. Now I'm living, but I'm also learning and I'm loving and I'm laughing, especially the laughter part. I find I gravitate towards things that give me joy. I don't gravitate towards drama and negativity and bullshit and all that other stuff. People thrive on it. I try not, with the exception of horror movies, I don't watch anything that's going to just cultivate this negative response in me. I ain't doing that. So, I just expose myself to things that make me feel good. If it does not feel good to me, if it's not conducive to my growth, I'm not fucking with it, period. And that can be friends, it can be family. If your energy ain't right, if you ain't trying to do better, I understand we all feel sad and be there for one another and all this other stuff. That's cool. That's fine. That's all great. But after a point when when I realize you're not trying to change, I'm out. I'm out, and I'm not going to deal with it anymore. So, in the absence since the last episode of the Single Chronicles shit, I haven't even been live on most of my social media platforms, with the exception of TikTok. I figured I don't really get as much traction on Instagram. I get more traction on TikTok, but I figure, let me go on Instagram, give a little shout out. Let me get back, because when I tell folks I'm stepping back from social media, I step back. Now, I might have someone help me maintain my page, keep up the algorithm. They might post a few things for me, like memes and shit like that, but nothing really too interpersonal. On my other pages that I got, because I got about 4 or 5 pages, and I have a lot of social media platforms, pages, and accounts dedicated to different things that I'm doing. So when I got to the point where it was like, all right, I need to do X, Y, and Z to make, to keep the algorithm going, to let people know these are the products and goods and services that I offer, to stay relevant. I would have some help have some help posting these things, but I stepped back. I had to, because when I came back, really started coming back to my Instagram, I was like, all right, I'm making my way through this account. I had so many missed DMs and stuff like that. And every now and again I would check some, but for the most part, I still have about 20 DMs to go through, you know, just about. And And I was like, Nizzle. I'm gonna take another break. You know what I mean? Like I choose on the weekends, I don't be on social media as much. You gotta unplug. That was another thing that helped me with my happiness. I found myself so connected to Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, well, not Facebook to some extent, and everything, to the point it was like, all right, I gotta promote the podcast. I gotta promote the classes, the juices, the this, the that, the blah, everything. And now I don't have the time and the energy to do the things that was making me happy. So I decided I would step back, take a break. I stepped back from the podcast. I stepped back from doing the juicing thing. And only unless someone ordered the juice from me, I was like, I'm not making juices to have in stock just to promote and sell and whatever. I barely was taking them to class. Like, I'm just not. So it is what it is. And I was just like, hey, my pockets are going to suffer. But guess what? My sanity is intact. So that's pretty much what happened. Take a break. And it wasn't intentional taking a break from the podcast because this is my weekly therapy session, but I had to do it. And like I said, when I saw what my homegirl posted yesterday, and I tried to talk her out, and then I thought about it, I was like, she's not at that level of where you're thinking. Like, I'm not thinking about being loved in the term. I'm thinking about being loved from my point of view. Like, if I love me, if I love myself, I don't give a fuck who don't love me. I don't give a fuck who doesn't like me. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I don't need their validation. When I learned the reason why I always seek validation was because I never got that shit as a kid. Once I learned that, and once I learned how to validate my fucking self, fuck, I don't care. Like, oh my God, the men don't love me, the women don't love me, mama don't love me, daddy don't love me. You know where I got validation and closure? It was in forgiving my parents for being my parents. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't choose them. They couldn't choose their issues, whether they chose to deal with them, heal from them or not. But I forgave. Now, recently, I found out my parents ain't on that healing path. My dad is on this whole, move on, forgive, forget. But I gotta get high. I had something to drink. He's not running. He's not healing from his demons. He's running from them. My mother is still lamenting them. So I decided I didn't want to be either one of those fucking people. I'm not going to be the type to sit up here 20 years from now bitter about my child's father, or I'm bitter about some shit. Nah, fuck it. You don't want to do what you got to do. You don't want to be in my life. Fuck you. I don't care. I really, really, really don't. So I just got to the point I was just like, I'm happy, and I feel great. Like, I have my days where, the dark gloomies, as I call them. I hate using the word depression and anxiety and all this other shit that I've had, but like, when they creep in, all right, you know what? I'm going to do something I know that will physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, those four things, those four pillars are going to help me get out of this rut. And I may not feel like doing it. I may not feel like going to the gym and lifting weights, and I may not feel like going on this juice cleanse. I may not feel like doing this podcast or doing something that makes me feel good, but I'm going to do these things, and then I'm gonna notice the difference. And then it was working for a while, but then I realized I was burning myself out. And I was like, okay, let's go back to the drawing board. Of these things, what matters most? Where's your passion? Where's your drive? Where's this? Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not getting rid of the Single Chronicles. It's not going anywhere, but I am not going to be posting weekly. And here is the announcement that I have to make. So the podcast, I will be concluding season 4 very soon. Probably it will go the the seasons tend to begin in like February or September or something like that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to conclude this season. I took a summer break before and then came back to it, and then I was trying to upload them on YouTube. I was trying to do a whole lot with this podcast. But then I decided I don't want to do that right now. It's too much and I don't feel like it. It just is. Like, I don't owe anybody. Like, people, oh, you didn't post an episode. I know I didn't. Sorry. I'm not trying to sound selfish or be a dick, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And I mean, yes, I get money from it. I mean, not a whole lot, but I still do. I ain't getting Joe Rogan money, obviously. But I was just like, the podcast makes money regardless. So I'm just going to take a break and focus on other endeavors that are more financially deeming and more emotionally enriching. So that's why I took a break from it. And it wasn't intentional, but then it gave me the idea. You've done this before with things you bombarded yourself with, and now it's time for you to figure out what you want to do. Now I already got merch, I got investments into my podcast and everything. So the Single Chronicles isn't going anywhere. But I will be back with a new episode. It won't be next week. It probably won't be until September, but you'll probably get another one in between now and September. And then after that, I'm concluding the season. And that will be that. But I'll still be around. I'll still be on my social media. I'm gonna try to go live a little bit more. Try to utilize the monetization. Right now, my main focus is getting back my YouTube account. Well, getting this YouTube account back to what my old one was before it got deleted. So, it was heavy on that copyright stuff back in the day. And excuse me, my account kind of suffered as a result because I posted something that, there wasn't no such thing as fair use or whatever. So yeah, my shit got obliterated. Anyway, as far as mattering, and like I said, back to my girlfriend, I tried to convince her, but again, I couldn't convince her that she was loved because it's not to say that she hated herself. I can't say, I don't know, but I could tell that. And this is not the only person. I've seen this so fucking much. People are just I don't understand it. Maybe because I had to go to, like, you know how the people be like, all right, I'm gonna go to the Tibetan mountains and go find themselves and be a monk and whatever. I had to mentally do something like that. I had to totally just disconnect from people. And don't get me wrong, yeah, it's nothing wrong with wanting to be loved. I do want to be loved. Nobody's saying that I don't, but I'm not pressed about it like I was. Like I'm enjoying life, I got a trip coming up next month. I got some business endeavors going, actually 3 trips planned next month up and down this damn East Coast. So I ain't got time really. I don't know, but I could be wrong. I'm no psychologist. I'm just doing what make me feel good. And I can't tell someone to do what I did to make them feel good. All I can say is find your purpose, find your path, find the things you're good at, and do that. Somebody will come along. Stop being pressed about finding some person, excuse me, or girl or a guy or whatever. Like, we feel that if we're not in a relationship with somebody and nobody don't want us, we just, oh God, we're useless. Guess what? Energy attracts other like energy. I'm not matching no energy. I'm vibrating my energy as high as I possibly can. And if I'm not attracting that, I'm pushing that away. Period. I'm not I'm a match. No, 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 no. I'm gonna vibrate here if I can. And if you come along and your shit is down here, I'm not trying to lift you up no more. I mean, I have classes and juices and things like that where you gonna have to pay me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm done. Hey. I'm done. I'm not validating anyone that doesn't know how to, appreciate themselves and love me for who I am. I'm not doing that shit anymore. I used to be, oh, let me fix you. No, I'm not a mechanic. I do know about cars, but I'm not a mechanic. Hello. I'm not fixing nobody. I'm not. That's not what I'm going to be here to do. And that having to help and heal other people that I have in me got so fucking abused and obliterated that it got to the point where it was just like it's being taken advantage of by people, even people that don't mean to do it. I'm done. I'm over it. So I chose to choose me And I chose to lift me up the same way I wanted to people please and help and do that. I want to people please myself. I want to help myself. I'm putting me first. And if it sounds selfish, if it sounds like me, I'm being an asshole or a dick, oh well. You ain't gotta like it, you ain't gotta love it. Actually the door's over there. So it is what it is. So the point I'm trying to make is, if you find yourself, if you find the time to love yourself. And when I say it, my company is called that. Love yourself, put good stuff in your body only. Don't put bullshit on it. Don't do bullshit. Do things that make you vibrate and feel good. Like if you like rock climbing, go rock climbing. If you like collecting coins, collect coins. Whatever it is, love yourself. Do the things that make you happy. Expose yourself to media. Yep, love yourself first and always. Because guess what? If you can't love you, how the fuck you gonna expect somebody else to do it? They just not. Like, your energy is what the energy you put out is what you get back. So if you constantly walking around like Eeyore, Winnie the Pooh friend, people are going to vibrate towards that naturally. And you're all type of people are going to vibrate to you, especially if you have a look that they like or you have things in common. But what you're going to gravitate back towards, and this was a hard pill for me to swallow, you're going to gravitate towards that inner child, that I don't want to say broken, but that wounded, better word, that wounded version of yourself. The one that I had to learn was there. Like, I learned that I had some shit I had to get over. Once you learn that, if you let that wounded version of yourself gravitate towards someone, you're going to be back to the heartbreak. You're going to be back like, oh, why do they want me? But once you heal, and it's harder to say, it sounds condescending. It sounds like I'm trying to talk down to nobody. I'm really not. Like I said, it took me a long fucking time to get here. I'm in my fucking 40s. I'm in a whole decade of my life before I realized it. Once I got to this point, and it wasn't no, oh, F everybody attitude. No, I'm still loving everybody. It was it was a part of me that just said, put you first. If it don't feel right, go. You ain't got to stick around. You ain't got to fix it. You ain't got to make somebody love you. Or what was my thing? Oh, they going to see my worth. You're going to know my worth. No, you're not. I'm done trying to prove my worth to people. Well, I've been done. If you don't see the value that I have, that I bring, I'm not going to sit here. I'm too old. I'm too tired. I'm too impatient to try to prove it to you. Yep. See, like, I'm telling you, it's done. I'm not, like, I got to a point I'm not trying to prove. If you don't know, like, my thing is, it's just like pizza. You know what toppings you like on a pizza. You're going to try different things on a pizza. You're going to try anchovies, olives, pepperoni, whatever. You might even try vegan pizza, whatever. You know from the instant you try the pizza what you like on the pizza. You know, you tried this, you don't like it. Same way with people. You know if you like a fucking person or you don't. So why the fuck would you try to prove, excuse my language, I dropped like 8 F-bombs in the last 5 seconds. So why the hell would you try to prove whether to this person if they like you or not? You got, do you see how stupid that sounds? Why are you trying to prove to another person your worth? They should already see it. You should already know. Like, you already know the type of person that you want. Just like another person knows. Oh, we have this list of criteria. Like, I want them to be this height, this gender, this tall, this weight, this. You got the physical stuff out the way. Then you got the other stuff, the intangible things. Like, okay, I want them to be Christian, or I want them to be Jewish, or I want them to be this. You got the intangible stuff that you can't touch. And then you got the physical stuff that you can. You already got these lists of things that you have. These are called preferences. So if you find someone who does not share those preferences, not only just that, but they have these like specific red flags or these things that you do that you know you don't like, is this person jealous? Oh no, the first sign of jealousy, I said, oh, why you do? This ain't gonna work. That's my thing. I'm sorry. I don't want to waste no more of your time, but this ain't gonna work. Because the minute you show me that you don't trust me for no fucking reason other than I don't know. I don't care what the fucking reason is. If I ain't give you a reason not to trust me, don't be making some shit up in your head and then projecting it onto me. I ain't got time for that. Nope. I'm dipping. I'm dipping. Oh, I didn't call you back last night, or I didn't text you right away, or I didn't. If I don't give you a reason to trust me for real, no. Same thing with anybody else. So the point is that I had to learn to go through all of that, love myself, and I decided that if the person don't fit the specific criteria, things that I want, and if I don't fit their criteria, then what the fuck? We're not gonna keep wasting. I'm not wasting nobody's time. I'm probably what, midlife crisis point already? What? No, well, not crisis, but just midlife point. So that's pretty much the mindset that I'm at right now. And this is what I tried to, pull my friend into thinking. But until she sees that life for herself, it ain't shit that I can do or anybody else can do. Thank you so much for tuning into the Single Chronicles. Today we talked about love yourself, and how I just got into healing, why I've been single, why I have been reluctant to post on this particular podcast, doing certain things. But regardless of that, I had to take a break. I had to pause. I had to step back. And it just really was just one of those things where I think I needed it, even though I didn't plan for it. And I remember my daughter telling me, hey, Mom, do the things that she's like, you used to feel really passionate about, your gaming, your writing, and, working out was just like a way for you to be fit. And you added the Zumba thing because you like to dance and everything, but everything else just kind of like got stacked on top of that. So I learned at an early, from my daughter to listen to my body, so to speak. It's like we ignore the fact that we're tired, so we don't go to sleep. We stay up scrolling. We ignore that we're hungry, we won't eat. Or we ignore that we're full and we keep eating. Regardless of such, we ignore the things our body or our brain is telling us to do. So that's what I did. I stopped doing. If I didn't feel like recording a podcast, I'm not. We get so obligated, and then sharing our passion, our hobbies becomes creating content. Now you gotta do it, because if you don't, the algorithms and everything else set in play to keep you attached to them pull you back in, and they punish you. And just like that validation that we seek from lovers and parents and shit like that, excuse my language, we tend to seek from social media. And now my hobby has turned into a career or an additional stream of income. And as much as I love doing it, I got convinced that I had to do it. And that's when I just lost the love of doing it. So I just wanted to say I needed to take a break. I still give advice. I still post comments. I still do other things. And then and I came to this realization when I told my one friend that I was talking about earlier. I told her, you do matter. You don't have to seek that validation and that love and that protection. I mean, I would say forgive for not getting it, but learn how to get that from within. Because once you get it within, then you add it to, the love and the light that you get from someone else. It's like, wow, this is great. And it's so hard to do. It's not easy. It really is. I could probably lose 50 pounds in the next 6 months quicker than it takes me to learn to love myself. It took me a long time. So what I'm saying is that it is not an easy path. It is not something easy to do, but it is not impossible. And I think loving yourself and putting yourself first to some extent is not selfish. And the only people that will tell you that it's selfish are the people that want consistent and constant access to you, even at the behest of your own sanity, and you do not owe them that. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, I will be, as I mentioned earlier, I will not be posting weekly on this podcast. I will be concluding this season. And season 5 will be, are we in season 5? We're in season 3. We'll be starting next year. So in 2024, you guys will be getting a whole new season pretty soon. And that's fine, but I just wanted to let y'all know that's what's going to happen. And I'm like, okay, I'm okay with that. I am okay with that. I'm trying to see, what season are we on now? I think we're on season, we're on season 3, 4. I don't know. Gosh, it used to tell you, like, before this was Anchor, it used to be Spotify. It used to be Anchor, now it's Spotify. So now it's a little hard to tell what is what. Let me see here. I'm looking at, sorry, details. Update. Yeah, it doesn't tell you what season anymore. It used to. But yeah, let's just say for argument's sake, this is season 4. Oh man, but yeah, definitely I want to appreciate everyone. I'm actually learning. I'm looking at this app. I haven't really been on this app much because I haven't been posting. I've gotten some listeners, and I'm actually, thank you for that. And I'm sorry for the extended break. Without that part was kind of rude, but I'm glad that I'm back, and I'm glad that I was able to come back to you guys and get an episode to kind of give you an update of what was going on in my life. So I'm glad to be back. Anyway, I'm about to get off of here. Oh my God, a mosquito bit me, and I'm just sitting up here scratching my arm. I'm about to make. I think I'm allergic to mosquitoes. I know you're supposed to swell and get a bump, but my literal whole arm yesterday was swollen from a mosquito that bit me. I killed it though. I got her ass. And yes, it was a girl, because the boy ones don't really bite like that. It'd be the girl ones. That's what I heard. Somebody told me that. I don't know, but I'm gonna say that it is. So I got that little B word. Anyway, I'm out of here. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. I want to say, be awesome, be you, but above all else, love yourself. And that is very important. And I know today felt like rambling, because I thought about everything that was going on, plus the last couple of topics that I didn't talk about, but I really wanted to talk about you matter, us mattering and loving yourself and where I've been. So you guys got a multitude of things. Plus I was live, so on Instagram. So, it is what it is. Anyway, I'm about to be out of here. Y'all take care. And I will see you next time. I'll try to get another episode before the month of July is out. I'll probably do 2 episodes a month, depending on my schedule with posting. Like I said, I'm trying to grow my YouTube channel. And if you're not following that YouTube channel, look me up at Insomniac Writer on YouTube. Give me a follow, share with your friends. Check out the trailer reactions. That's all I post is trailer reactions. I keep it simple. That's what my platform more near is going to be. I might post a Zumba video or something, but I'm sticking to a niche that I like. Trailer reactions. And I might talk about some movies, but that's about it. Anyway, guys, I'm out of here. Take care and bye.
I am sad and so